Welcome to Live Interactive English. Hello everyone, I'm Karen.
And my name is Sydney, and today we are going to be talking about the Congo, two countries with the same name. And speaking of the Congo and both of these countries having the same name, let me take my time in telling you about these two countries. So, we are going to be talking about the Democratic Republic of the Congo and the other one, which is called the Republic of the Congo.
That's pretty tongue-twisting, but you nailed it.
You know what? I did it, right? I think I did pretty well. Yeah.
You did very well.
And of course, it's a little bit tricky because, again, both of the countries essentially have very similar names.
That's right.
But today we are just going to dive a little bit deeper into some of the history and the background of both of these countries.
Exactly. And I think some interesting things that, I've read about them is that, it has a lot of ethnic groups. Over 200 languages are spoken, in the country. So I think that part is quite interesting. And then also it's unique wildlife as well. The dense forest. All these things are very interesting things that for us to learn about these two countries, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And if you ever kind of find yourself getting confused about which one is which, you can think of it this way. The Democratic Republic of the Congo is the one with the flag that kind of has a sky blue color, a large red stripe in the middle with two kind of yellow stripes on the outside of the red one and a yellow star, right? That's that one, that kind of sky blue color. So their flag represents a lot of peace, unity, and kind of hope for the future. And then the Republic of the Congo is the one with no blue. It has green, yellow, and red. And the green, I know, really symbolizes a lot of the wildlife and kind of the forest that they have there.
Exactly. Oh, that's a very good way to remember it. Also the size too, right? DRC is actually a lot bigger than the Republic of the Congo.
Yeah. All right. So we are going to keep continuing this conversation about these two countries with essentially the same name or a very similar name. And we are going to be right back.
You may have heard of the Congo before. Perhaps the name brings to mind exotic rainforests or amazing wild animals. But did you know that there are actually two countries known as the Congo? The Democratic Republic of the Congo, DRC, and the Republic of the Congo. Both countries are found in Central Africa and take their name from the Congo River. In fact, their capitals, Kinshasa, DRC, and Brazzaville, Republic of the Congo, even sit on opposite sides of the river from each other. So why aren't they the same country?
So today we're looking at this article called The Congo, and it's called Two Countries with the Same Name. And like you explained before, the two countries are the Republic of the Congo, and the second one is the Democratic Republic of the Congo.
Yes.
It is very tongue-twisting.
I was going to say, you also did a very good job with that one. Well done, well done.
Thank
Absolutely.
you, thank you.
All right, so let's get started with our article for today. So, you may have heard of the Congo before. Perhaps the name brings to mind exotic rainforests or amazing wild animals. And absolutely, the first thing I think of when I hear about the Congo, whether it be the DRC or the Republic of the Congo, is the wild animals, the wildlife, the rainforests, and all of the amazing biodiversity that you can probably find there.
That's right, but we're going to learn more interesting facts about these two countries, right? But did you know that there are actually two countries known as the Congo? The Democratic Republic of the Congo, we can also say DRC, and also the Republic of the Congo. So we're looking at this word here, democratic, and that is an adjective. So being democratic means everyone gets a say, like voting for a class president or deciding rules together, showing fairness and equal power. So everyone feels heard, not just one boss making all the decisions, like in a democratic country where people vote for leaders. Now, an example sentence would be Norway is the most democratic country in the world.
Yeah, all right, that's a great explanation. Hopefully that kind of helps people, be able to kind of differentiate between the two, I suppose. Yeah, all right, so we are going to shoot it over to Hanny and we'll be right back.
Hello， 大家好，我是 Hanny。同学们可能都有听过刚果这个名字，或许会让你联想到充满异国风情的雨林、令人惊奇的野生动物等等。可是你知道吗？其实有2个国家都叫刚果，刚果民主共和国，简称为民主刚果，还有刚果共和国。我们来看看单字 democratic， 它是形容民主的、民主政治的。那刚刚讲到雨林野生动物时 ，Sydney 老师有提到 biodiversity， 或是念作 biodiversity， 它表示生物多样性。Karen 老师在念这个2个国家的名称时，他觉得舌头都要打结了，像在念绕口令。我们补充一下 ，tongue twister 就是指绕口令。那你可以用 tongue twisting 来描述它是拗口的，就是感觉会让人舌头打结的。另外，在讲到区分2个国家时，老师用到 differentiate 这个动词，它就有辨别、区别、区分的意思。好，那这边有一个重点是Bring something or somebody to mind 表示使人想起什么，使人联想到什么。Bring to mind 如果受词比较长时，可以把它移到 mind 的后面，写作 bring to mind something or somebody。这是强调什么什么让人想起某人或某事物。而这个片语它的主词通常是引发回忆的事物，那么受词则是被想起的人或事物。我们这边造2个例句。The song brings a lot of memories to mind。那首歌勾起了许多回忆。The movie brought to mind a book I read a few months ago。这部电影使我想起几个月前读的一本书。好，那接回课文中。
All right. Thank you so much, Hanny. Now we are going to continue along with learning about these 2 countries that kind of sound very similar, the Congo. So, both countries are found in Central Africa and take their name from the Congo River. Okay, that makes sense. They're both kind of in the same geographical location in Africa, and they take their name from the same river. Makes perfect sense.
That's right.
Yeah.
And I think they're on opposite sides of the river, right? Okay, let's continue. In fact, their capitals, Kinshasa, DRC, and Brazzaville, Republic of the Congo, even sit on opposite sides of the river from each other. So why aren't they the same country? And like I said before, they sit on the opposite side. One country is on one side of the river, while the other one is on the other side of the river.
Yeah, exactly. And the word opposite is just an adjective. So in this case, it just means they're essentially across from each other, right? One is on one side, one is on the other. But opposite, we could also say it means completely different, contrary, or to be on the other side of something. In this case, they're essentially across from one another on the different sides of the river. So, for example, we could say, Leah walked in the opposite direction of the crowd, meaning maybe the crowd was going this way, Leah was going this way. For, the opposite of up is down, the opposite of left is right. Opposite just means opposing sides or across from one another.
That's right. And it's not a good idea to really walk in the opposite direction of the crowd.
Yeah, very true. You can kind of bump heads and bump into people. You should typically try to go with the flow of the crowd and the flow of traffic a little bit. I agree. Yeah.
Okay, however, let's go over to Henny first and we will be right back.
民主刚果和刚果共和国这2个国家都位于中非，那他们的国民都是源自于刚果河，而这2国的首都甚至是隔着这条河相望。我们来看看单字 opposite， 它是形容对面的、另一边的，也可以形容相反的。那在讲到地理位置时 ，Sydney 老师有提到 geographical 它是形容地理的、地理学的。好，那我们接着回到课文中看看为什么他们不是同一个国家。
Thank you, Hanny. And now we are back. Okay, so from our article so far, we learned some interesting facts about these 2 countries, right? One is DRC, the Democratic Republic of the Congo, while the other one is the Republic of the Congo. And they are on the opposite sides of the river, and which is where they got their name from, the Congo River, right?
Exactly. Yeah. And so, I think we are going to continue to kind of learn a little bit more about these 2 countries, their similarities and their differences. So let's go to the second part of the article and we'll be right back.
Well, the answer lies in their history. The Republic of the Congo used to be ruled by France, whereas the DRC was occupied by Belgium. Both countries became independent in 1960, and they have remained separate ever since. In addition, the DRC is much larger than its neighbor and has over 100 million more people. However, despite this enormous size difference, the two nations do have some things in common. For example, the main religion in both is Christianity, and they share the same official language, French. So, you could argue that they are close neighbors in more ways than one.
All right, welcome back, everyone. We are going to continue learning about these two countries with a very similar name, right? We know one is DRC, one is the Republic of the Congo, but we're going to kind of talk more about their history and what makes each country unique.
Okay, well, let's dive into it. Well, the answer lies in their history. The Republic of the Congo used to be ruled by France, whereas the DRC was occupied by Belgium. Oh, so that's why they have a little bit of different history. That's why these are different countries. Now we're talking about DRC was occupied by Belgium. So occupy, to occupy, that is a verb. It just means to take over. When someone enters a place and stays there like an army. An example sentence would be, Mexico was occupied by Spain for nearly 300 years.
Okay. All right. Then it says here, both countries became independent in 1960, and they have remained separate ever since. Okay. In addition, the DRC is much larger than its neighbor and has over 100 million more people. Wow. Okay, I knew it was bigger, but I didn't know it was actually that much bigger.
I think size-wise is also a lot bigger than the Republic of the Congo.
Okay, wow, very interesting. All right, well, now we know. We learn something new every day, and we are going to swing over to Hanny, and we'll be right back.
课文提到，刚果共和国曾被法国统治，民主刚果则是曾被比利时占领。那两国都在1960年独立之后就各自发展。此外呢，民主刚果的面积比邻国大得多，人口也多出1亿以上。好，来看单字 occupy。occupy 这个动词表示占领、占据或是占用，像是占用时间、空间等等。那这边有一个重点是 used to 加原形动词，可以表达过去曾经怎么样，过去经常怎么样，用来表示过去的习惯或状况，带有现在情况已经改变的意思。例如 I used to drink coffee every morning。我以前每天早上都会喝咖啡，这表示现在已经没有这种习惯了。那我们接着回到课文中。
Thank you, Hanny. And now we are back. Okay, so from our article so far, we know that population-wise, DRC is actually a lot larger, right? Okay, let's continue with our article. However, despite this enormous size difference, the two nations do have some things in common. Okay, so first we talked about some differences that these countries have, but right now we're going to look at some, similarities too.
Yeah, all right. And our vocabulary word here is the word enormous. And that is an adjective. And enormous just means huge or very, very large in size. So, for example, we could say, the university library has an enormous collection of books, a huge collection, a giant collection, a very, very large collection of books. All right, for example, the main religion in both countries is Christianity, and they share the same official language, French. So you could argue that they are close neighbors in more ways than one. Okay, so same religion, same language. We know in France, obviously they speak French. Belgium, if you don't know, is also a French-speaking country. That's one of the languages spoken there. So yeah, all right, some similarities, now we know.
Well, I guess, the people from two different countries would probably get along pretty well. I mean, since these similarities, like they speak the same language, like similar, like also the wildlife as well.
Yeah. Okay.
Well, let's go over to Hanny first, and we will be right back.
刚刚说到民主刚果的面积比刚果共和国大得多，人口也多出1亿以上。尽管规模差异这么悬殊，那这两个国家确实还是有一些共同点，像他们的主要宗教都是基督教，官方语言也都是法语。那么单字 enormous 它是形容巨大的，像体积啊、数量、规模是巨大的、庞大的。那这边有一个重点是 have 点点点 in common 是表达有相同的什么什么，常常用 A and B have something in common， 或者是 A have something in common with B 来表示。其中这个受词呢，也常常会用 something、a lot、nothing 等等来表示相同的程度。我们这边造2个例句。Julie and I have a love of music in common. 我跟 Julie 都热爱音乐。The twins have almost nothing in common except their appearance. 那对双胞胎除了外表，几乎没有任何共同点。那我们接回到课文中。
Thank you, Henny, and now we are back. Okay, I certainly learned a lot of interesting things about these two countries today, DRC and also the Republic of the Congo. We know that they got their names because of the river, and DRC is actually a lot bigger in terms of size and also population as well, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And we both know that obviously they're both Christian nations practicing the same religion, and they both speak the same language, which is French, because the Republic of the Congo was once previously ruled by France, and the DRC was once previously ruled by Belgium, which is another French-speaking country. So we had a lot of fun facts today.
That's
great.
right. Okay, how about let's review the article again, and we'll see you next time.
All right.
Bye-bye.
You may have heard of the Congo before. Perhaps the name brings to mind exotic rainforests or amazing wild animals. But did you know that there are actually 2 countries known as the Congo? The Democratic Republic of the Congo, DRC, and the Republic of the Congo. Both countries are found in Central Africa and take their name from the Congo River. In fact, their capitals, Kinshasa, DRC, and Brazzaville, Republic of the Congo, even sit on opposite sides of the river from each other. So why aren't they the same country? Well, the answer lies in their history. The Republic of the Congo used to be ruled by France, whereas the DRC was occupied by Belgium. Both countries became independent in 1960, and they have remained separate ever since. In addition, the DRC is much larger than its neighbor and has over 100 million more people. However, despite this enormous size difference, the 2 nations do have some things in common. For example, the main religion in both is Christianity, and they share the same official language, French. So, you could argue that they are close neighbors in more ways than one.
最后我们来复习今天课文里的单字文法。单字的部分有 democratic 是形容民主的、民主政治的 opposite 是形容对面的、另一边的或相反的 occupy 动词表示占领、占据或是占用，像占用时间、空间 enormous 是形容巨大的，像是体积啊、数量、规模等等，它是巨大的、庞大的。文法的部分，第一个学到 bring something or somebody to mind 表示使人想起什么，使人联想到什么。第二个学到 used to 加原形动词表示过去曾经怎么样，过去经常怎么样。第三个学到 have 点点点 in common 表示有相同的什么什么。好，那以上是今天的讲解，同学别走开，马上回来哦。
Welcome to Which One Fits, the game where we tackle confusing English words.
I can't wait to get started.
Today, we're going to sort out the difference between speak and talk.
Before we dive in, let's go over how the game works.
In Which One Fits, we'll read a sentence with a blank, and you have to choose between speak and talk.
So join us and challenge your English intuition.
All right, here comes your first sentence. The lecturer made sure to blank clearly so everyone could hear her. Which one fits?
Is it speak?
Yes, it is. Speak means to say words aloud, often to an audience or in a formal setting. Next one. We usually meet at the cafe to blank about life and work. Which one fits?
That should be talk.
Exactly. Talk means to have a conversation with someone, often in a casual way.
Looks like I'm pretty good at this.
All right, let's break it down clearly.
First, Speak is a verb meaning to use your voice to express ideas, often in a formal or one-way setting, like a speech or presentation. For example, the principal will speak at the welcoming ceremony to greet the new students.
It's also commonly used with languages. For instance, he can speak English and Spanish fluently.
Now, talk is also a verb meaning to say words, but it's mainly used for conversations between two or more people. For example, she talks with her friend on the phone for hours every evening.
It can also be used as a noun, meaning a conversation or a short presentation. For example, the teacher gave an interesting talk about space exploration.
You can think of it this way. Speaking is about conveying, while talking is about exchanging.
They may seem alike at first, but once you grasp the difference, you'll know which one to use.
And get this, both can appear in the same sentence. The CEO spoke about our annual goals, and we talked about potential strategies in our teams.
So, speaking usually becomes talking when it happens between people.
Right. Now you'll never mix them up again.
Until next time, keep learning.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.